Hey guys, as you may have noticed from the thumbnail, I've bought a very large amount of books again this month. I really don't feel bad about buying all these books because the majority of them I got like super cheap. I have 26 books to show you today, so let's get started. The first three books I got were Outlander, Voyager, and Drums of Autumn, all by Diana Gabaldon. And this is the first, second, and fourth book, I believe, of the Outlander series. I got all three of these books during the 127 for 50 cents. I also got these next two books from the 127. Morgan's Cross by Nora Roberts and Mercy by Jodi Picoult. Moving on to my next book, I got Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Laura Miracle. I hope I said that last one right. I've heard a lot of great things about John Green and Maureen Johnson, so when I saw this book, I had to pick it up, especially considering it was only 99 cents. Then I had Mermaid Park by Beth Mayhall, and I actually got this book for free. At first, I thought this was actually going to be about mermaids, but it's actually about this girl who gets her dream job at a place called Mermaid Park. And it's about her uncovering a long-buried family secret, which I guess this secret could be that she's from a family of mermaids, but I really don't know much about the book, so I'm just going to assume that there's no actual mermaids in this book. The next book I have is Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. I've heard a lot of good things about Sarah Dessen, so I'm slowly picking up all of her books. Then I have Rook by Sharon Cameron, and I hope I said her name right. The only thing I really know about this book is it's a dystopian that takes place in Paris. I've heard mixed reviews about this book, so I was iffy about getting it, but I got it for less than $1, so I couldn't pass it up, and I do love this cover. Next I have P.S. I Like You by Cassie West. I actually got this book in my first ever Owl Crate, and I'm really excited. It sounds like such a cute contemporary novel. The main character, Lily, scribbles some song lyrics on her desk when she's really bored in class one day, and when she gets to class the next day, she notices that someone has continued on with the lyrics, and it just starts this back and forth between the two of them, and it just sounds so cute, and I cannot wait to read it. The next book I got is one that I went off Goodreads, and that is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Can I just start off by saying that I love the way this cover feels? You can actually feel the water droplets. This book is about a journalist who stays in a cabin on a luxury cruise liner, and one night she hears someone being thrown overboard, but no passengers are missing, and she can't seem to convince anyone that something bad has happened. That's all I know about this book, and that's all I want to know. These next 7 books I got from the book outlet. I got The Girl in the Steel Corset by Caddy Cross, and this is one of the books from her Steampunk Chronicles. I have to look up which book it is. I'm not really sure at the moment. Next I have Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan, and I hope I said her name right. This was more of an impulse buy. I had heard a few things about the book, but I really don't know much about it. Next I have The Iron Knight by Julie Kagawa, and this is the 4th and final book of the Iron Fae series, I believe. I believe this is the final book. I think the other books are just part of her spin-off series, which I may end up getting them too, I'm not sure. But this was the last book I needed to complete that series, so now I can finally read it. Next I have Ninth Grade Slays by Heather Brewer. The next book I got was Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider, and I really didn't mean to buy this book. I guess I thought maybe I didn't have Poison Study at home, but I do, and it's the cover I actually like. Not that this isn't a pretty cover, but I love this cover so much. This is the covers I wanted. But I guess I was thinking this wasn't the same book I have at home, just in a different cover. So I ended up buying it, and I don't know why. I may end up returning it, I don't know. I'll either end up returning it or I'll end up keeping it and just have double copies of the book, because I've heard a lot of great things about the book, so I may not mind having a double copy. The next book I got was Die For Me by Amy Plum, and I was kind of iffy about getting this book, like I have been for a while, because I hadn't really read anything by Amy Plum, at the point of buying this book at least. But I looked at some reviews and people had a lot of good things to say about the book, so I decided to break down and buy it. The next book I got was a rebuy, Divergent by Veronica Roth. I bought this mainly because my copy of Divergent is in paperback and I wanted to get the hardback so it would match the rest of my series. And this copy has this ugly thing on it that does not come off. It's actually part of the cover. So I can't do anything about that. But it also has a DVD in the back about a conversation with Veronica Roth. I guess it's a look inside either the book or the movie or both. So that's going to be interesting. I haven't watched that yet. But I am very happy about getting this book on hardcover, especially since all the hardcovers have like this pretty emblem in the middle and it's on fire. Sorry guys, I'm a little sleep deprived. But all of these books right here, I got for less than $5. That is freaking amazing. I love that. I've never gone into half price books and gotten so many books for so little. I kind of wish I would have got probably about like a dozen more books because I was looking at a lot more books, but I was like, this is a lot of money right here. But then I got to the cash register and he told me it was only $4 and something, and I was like, oh, I want to go back and get those books now. But I couldn't because the line was like a mile long and I had already been there for like 2 hours. Next, I have my box from the Book Outlet, which I just got in the mail yesterday. If you guys did not know, the Book Outlet was having a sale last week. You would get $5 off your purchase, but you would also get the chance to win a special Book Outlet bear. Anyone who ordered got a Book Outlet bear, but there was 5 special ones going out each day to winners, and it would have a $250 gift card in it. I didn't think I was going to win the special Book Outlet bear. I was hoping I would, but I didn't expect to. My main reason behind buying these books was the fact that I already wanted them, and I knew if I didn't buy them while the sale was going on, someone else would get them, so I snatched them up while I could. And like I expected, I didn't win the special Book Outlet bear, but I did get one, and I'm happy about that. On to the books I got. I got all 8 of these books for under $40, so very happy about that. The first book I got was The Evolution of Mara by Michelle Hopkins, and this is the second book of the Mara trilogy. I've heard a lot of good things about the first 2 books of this series, not so much the third book, so I'm kind of reluctant to spend an enormous amount of money on the third book, so I'll probably just wait until it's at the Book Outlet. And I would try to summarize this series, but I wouldn't even know where to start. The next 2 books I got are Fuse and Burn by Julianne Begots. I hope I said your name right. But this is book 2 and 3 of the Pure trilogy. I have not looked at the summary of these 2 books because I don't want to be spoiled, but the first book, Pure, is basically about a boy that's living in this gigantic city that's surrounded by a bubble, and him and everyone inside the bubble are pures, and everyone outside the bubbles are, I can't really remember what they're called, but they've been like mutated, and some people are like fused together, and it's some kind of apocalyptic virus that affected everyone, and only a small portion of people was able to escape it. I'm doing a bad job of summarizing this. It's been a while since I read the summary of that book, but I think that's pretty accurate. The next book I got is Undertow by Mitchell Buckley. I don't know much about this book other than the fact that it takes place at Coney Island, and it's about this invading army. But from what it sounds like, the invading army isn't from space, they're actually from the sea. And I could have been interpreting that wrong, I don't know. But this is definitely going to be an interesting book to read. And I also really love this cover. The next book I got is Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. And this is a set of novellas that go with the Lunar Chronicles. I'm not sure if you need to read Fairest as well. It was on the Book Outlet, but I hadn't heard many good things about the book, so I decided not to pick it up. Let me know in the comments below if I need to read Fairest as well, because I plan on reading these books hopefully in October, so I need to have time to get that book. The next book I got is Earth Girl by Janet Edwards. And this is a very interesting book. It's the first book of a series, but I'm not sure how many books are in the series. This book takes place in a futuristic world where it's possible for people to portal from planet to planet, and this has become fairly normal. But you have the main character, Jara. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name, but she's one of the few people that doesn't have a very strong immune system, so she would not survive if she left Earth. But something ends up happening on Earth and she has to leave for her own safety. So I don't really know much more than that about this book, but that sounds amazing. I can't wait to start this book, but I'll probably wait until I get the majority of the series before I start reading it. This is also a cover that I love. It's really, really pretty. Next I have A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, and this is the second book of the Darker Shade of Magic series. I'm not sure what the series is called, I'm sorry. I have been looking for this book everywhere, and as soon as it comes up on the book outlet, it is normally snatched up right away. So I'm happy to actually have my hands on this book now. And I have to say, it's a lot bigger than I anticipated, especially considering the first book. It's like twice the size of the first book. And the final book of this book haul, thank God, because my arms are starting to get really, really tired. Divergent, the official movie illustrated edition. And I have become a little bit obsessed with Divergent, not as bad as I've seen some people be obsessed with the series, but I did love the first two books, and the first two movies were really good. We're not going to talk about Allegiant in any form. We're just not. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up. I love these little movie illustrated editions, especially when they're from a book to movie adaptation. I've already flipped through this book. I haven't really read anything. I just basically just looked at the pictures. Well, that is finally the end of this book haul, and I promised myself I was not going to buy a lot of books this month. But on the bright side, at least I didn't spend a lot of money on any of these books. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!